Hi, I'm Kim Bushman, licensed psychologist and founder of Water's Edge Counseling and Healing Center in Burnsville, Minnesota. I want to talk to you today about anxiety wearing masks. With COVID-19 and more cities and states moving to mandatory masks, I am hearing from more people about the frequency or their experiences of actually having anxiety, including full-blown panic attacks whenever they put on a mask or they try to be compliant with this requirement. So I want to talk about some tips on how to increase your endurance on wearing a mask, and also recognizing that for some of you, this just may not be doable, and that is really truly okay. There's actually exemptions in at least the Minnesota requirements that say for certain medical conditions, mental health conditions, and if there's communication barriers that would happen by having a mask on, that you are exempt from wearing the mask. So I want to encourage you that if that's you, take that exemption and know that it's truly okay, and you know why you can't wear the mask. So that's first and foremost. And if you want to work on trying to build some ability to wear a mask for at least some length of time, here's a couple things that you can do. One, just start practicing talking a little bit slower when you're wearing a mask, and it changes how you breathe because you are breathing through something. So you actually do have a different experience of breathing. It requires you to actually talk a little bit slower. So practice talking slower and being more aware of your breath before you even put the mask on. Then select a mask that you prefer. There's masks that go behind the ears. There's like a gaiter type cloth that would work, where you just wear it around your neck and then you pull it up. There's different types of fabrics. So find a mask that you're most comfortable with. Most likely you're not going to find a mask that you absolutely love and you can't wait to put on, but which one are you most comfortable with? Then take the mask, and I recommend standing in front of a mirror, noticing you're in control. You get to decide if you're putting this mask on or if you're taking it off. So recognizing you're in full control, take your breath, slow yourself down a little bit, and then notice yourself choosing to put the mask on. And then notice what that's like, and then choose to take it off. And do this over and over again. And then sometimes just leaving the mask on for a little bit longer period of time can help build up some resiliency to wearing the mask. Other tips that have helped people are using some aromatherapy on the inside of the mask, like a scented oil or a scented spray that you find calming and appealing, that can help you so that you can stay in the moment. You're noticing more the smell of the aromatherapy versus the challenge of breathing. It's also important that you recognize you actually are breathing. It's just you're breathing a little bit differently. So it's important to register and let your brain know, oh, I'm actually okay. I can still breathe. It just needs to be a little more focused and a little bit slower. Okay, so after you're practicing and you're noticing that you have full control when you put the mask on and when you take the mask off, some other things that you can do is to, one, just remember to be slow and be patient with yourself. Think about why you're doing this. Why are you wearing a mask? I know when I get a little bit feisty about wearing a mask, which I certainly do because I don't really like wearing a mask, I think about the people that I love. I think about, who would I be wearing this mask for? Who would I be willing to put a mask on for, even if it's uncomfortable? And that works for me in several situations. Now, it might not be enough for some of you. Some of you might be having full-blown panic attacks, and you really want to wear the mask for the people that you love, but you still are having the panic attacks. And just know that's okay. That's not a failure. So no shame if that's you. And instead, I want you to think about some of these other options, and including wearing a face shield. That's one alternative that has been approved. And a little bit later, I'll talk about some of the benefits of maybe doing some therapy sessions as well. So think about who you're wearing the mask for, And then also look around and see like, wow, there are other people wearing the mask. Because when we're doing something together and we're part of something, we tend to have a little bit more endurance, a little bit more strength and willpower to kind of step in and do hard things. I know there's been times where I've walked into a store and I'm wearing a mask, and I looked around and feeling a little self-conscious because not everybody has a mask. But those people that had a mask on, it's like we made eye contact, and there's a little bit of unspoken language that went something like this in my mind. Hey, I see you, and we're in this together. And that just gave me a little bit more stamina to wear the mask while I finished the shopping that I needed to do and then leave. So look around, recognize who else are you in this with. If you're going to go out, if there's somebody that you live with who it's not an additional exposure in terms of people, or if you can social distance with somebody who's a safe person, maybe do some experiments of going outside for a walk and practicing wearing your mask and talking about it with that person, and having this shared experience of like, oh, I'm hot, or oh, I feel like I can't breathe, but oh, actually I'm doing this. I feel like I want to take it off right now. So I'm going to take it off and then I'm going to put it back on. And so having a partner in practicing and normalizing can also be really helpful. The last tidbit that I have for you is if you're in an environment that and you're wearing a mask, but you're starting to feel your anxiety increase, give yourself permission to leave that environment for at least a short period of time. Step outside if you can, take the mask off, let yourself take some breaths, feel yourself calming down, remind yourself you're in control. Why are you doing this? And then if you want to, you can put the mask back on and go back in and try it again. And you might need to leave again, but just let that be okay. Okay. So the final thing I want you to know is if you are still having heightened anxiety about wearing a mask, therapy can be helpful. In a therapy session, we can help further assess your unique situation, and we can do this via telehealth, so you don't actually have to come in and wear the mask in session. But if we assess your unique situation, we can help you develop a plan that is reasonable for you and what you're trying to accomplish. So if that's you, please don't hesitate to reach out to a therapist and get some help because we are all in this together. We're all experiencing it, and it is normal to have some anxiety about wearing a mask. So be well, be safe, and be patient and kind to yourself. Take care.